Hello friends, this is Akshita, your educator. I welcome you all on the platform of Spardha Pariksha by Global Online. As we know friends, Spardha Pariksha by Global Online has launched a complete series for upcoming CTET examination which will be held in December 2022. Now in this particular series we are dealing with mathematics paper 2. For mathematics paper 1 we have already completed the series. You can check in the playlist, okay? There we have already completed the whole syllabus regarding the mathematics paper 1. Now in this particular series we will deal with the mathematics paper 2. In today's lecture number 5 we are discussing about the mensuration. Now in syllabus wala topic, as I have told you, mensuration is an important topic for paper 2. Okay, minimum 4 to 5 questions can be asked from this topic, so this is the topic of important. We will discuss what kind of questions can be asked in this particular mensuration topic. Okay, before moving into the video friends, the central teacher eligibility test 2022 for this complete course has been launched for paper 1 and paper 2 by the global online platform. In these particular features will be provided to you. Here, full syllabus theory lectures, practice multiple MCQs, mock test, full syllabus notes in the form of PDF. The course fees is just of 2000 rupees. Okay, such features are provided in just fees of 2000 rupees for paper 1. You have to go and download the global online app or contact us on this given WhatsApp number for enrolling the course. Now moving on for the paper 2, again the central teacher eligibility test 2022. The complete course has been launched via global online. Here you will be provided with again the full syllabus theory lectures, practice multiple MCQs, mock test, full syllabus notes in the form of PDF, and the course fees is just of again 2000 rupees. Simply go and download the global online app or contact on this given WhatsApp number. Now for the students who are going to opt for the paper 1 and paper 2, you don't have to buy the course individually. Go for the compiled course for paper 1 and paper 2. Here the central teacher eligibility test 2022 complete course for paper and paper 2 again is provided with the full syllabus theory lectures, practice multiple MCQs, mock test, full syllabus notes, and the course fees is just of 3000 rupees. Now if you want to score maximum marks in the examination as well as want the guaranteed selection in the examination, then this course is going to be very beneficial for you. You can completely rely on us for this particular course because you need not to follow any other different sources, compilations, or different notes. For example, you can completely rely on our notes, you can completely rely on our videos and get maximum marks in the examination and the guaranteed selection in the examination of the central teacher eligibility test. Now in short, I'll tell you how to enroll the course. Once you go on the Play Store, download this global online app. Okay, here you will find one interface. Here you can also find an icon called store. Okay, click on the store. Here you will move to the page called courses. In this courses page you will find a search tab. Okay, search tab, you have to type CTET. Once you type CTET, 3 different courses will be displayed along with the fees. Okay, so in this way you can simply enroll the course and boost your preparation along with the global online. Now see, global online is a platform where not only CTET but different categories of courses you can find out. If you are preparing for different entrance examinations, for PET for example, for SET, okay, for CSIR net or NTA UGC net, so here different courses have been provided to you. So this is the one-stop solution for your different examinations. Okay, so just go and download the app and contact us on this given particular WhatsApp number for enrolling to the different courses whichever you want to. Now in today's lecture we will discuss about the topic called mensuration. Okay, now what are the things that we have to discuss in mensuration? Let us go in detail. Now in mensuration topic we discuss actually two kinds of different structures. One is the 2D structure and another one is the 3D structures. Okay, 2D 2-dimensional and 3D 3-dimensional structures will be discussed in the mensuration. Now what are the structures specifically in 2D? Let us discuss that in detail. Now in 2D, triangle, circle, quadrilateral. Okay, basically if we see in quadrilateral, square, rectangle, parallelogram, okay, nextly trapezium. These are the different structures that we will discuss in detail for 2D structures. Okay, in 2D, as I told you, we'll see triangles shape, circle, quadrilaterals. In quadrilaterals, different shapes like square, rectangle, parallelogram, and trapezium. Now for specifically for triangle, in triangle also we find different triangles like isosceles triangle, okay, equilateral triangle, scalene triangle. Okay, these are the different triangles, right angle triangle. Okay, now if you're preparing for paper 1, as I already told you in the previous series, that if you're going for paper 1, triangle and circle is a topic from where question has been never asked. Okay, now here specifically I'll discuss this in detail once again. In triangle, what we are discussing, scalene triangle, okay, right angled triangle, different types of triangles. Okay, right angled triangle, nextly is equilateral triangle, next one is isosceles triangle. Okay, these are the different triangles. Basically triangle and circle is a topic from which question has never been asked. Okay, but we'll discuss about some of the formulas for circle, because this is it directly linked up with the 3D structures for cube. Okay, there we have to find, if you are finding in 3D structure cylinder, the formulas of the cylinder are completely depend on this or we can say there is need for circle ke formulas. Okay, so basically we'll deal with the formulas over here, but question has been never asked, but we will discuss it. Okay, so maximum focus should be given on the quadrilateral over here, specifically square, rectangle, trapezium is a topic for paper 2 from which questions have been asked compulsorily. So this is a topic of importance. Okay, give this topic much more important. Now this was all about the 2D structures. Now for 3D structures, the 3 basic structures that you have to keep in mind is, or the 3 structures from which questions can be asked directly in the examination is cube, cuboid, and third one is cylinder. Okay, if you're going for paper 1, once again I'll tell you, if you're going for paper 1, then you have to focus on square, rectangle maximum. Okay, triangle and circle is not a topic from which question can be asked. Now if you're going for paper 2, square, rectangle, and trapezium, this is also important. Okay, in 3D structures for paper 2, cube, cuboid, cylinder, all 3 of them are important. Okay, so these are the topic of importance. This was all about the introduction regarding the mensuration. As I told you, in mensuration we'll discuss two basic structures, that is two-dimensional structures and three-dimensional figures. Okay, so in two-dimensional figures what we find is different types of figures like triangle, circle, and quadrilateral. In triangle there are different types of triangles, scalene, right angle, equilateral, and isosceles. Okay, in circle we will discuss the formulas for the circle later on. In quadrilateral, the specific structures that we'll discuss over here is square, rectangle, parallelogram, and trapezium. Okay, nextly in 3D structure, as I told you, cube, cuboid, and cylinder, these are the 3 structures that we have to keep in mind. Now this was all about the introductory part. Now let us discuss these 2D structures one by one. Specifically in quadrilateral we'll start with square. Okay, in quadrilateral we'll start with square. What are the things that we have to keep in mind regarding the square? Let us draw one square over here. Sorry, I went for the rectangle. Okay, this is the square. Okay, now in square, the thing that we have to keep in mind that there are 4 sides of this square and all the sides are equal. That is why I have taken all the sides as A. So the first point regarding the square that we have to keep in mind is all the sides of square are equal. Okay, now the formulas that we have to keep memorizing is regarding the area and perimeter. If you are going for the 2D structures, right, if you are going for the 2D structures, we have to keep 2 formulas in mind regarding any structure they ask to us. We have to keep in mind the area and the perimeter. Now the very first formula, the area, what is the area of the square if asked is, now as we know the side is over here is A. Okay, to find the area what we will do is A square. So if we have to find the area, okay, the area of the square, what we take is A square. Now this is the formula that we have been seeing from the school time only. Okay, so but we have to go through it once. Okay, now next formula is the perimeter. Now what is the perimeter? As we know, perimeter, it means the boundaries. Okay, it means the boundaries. So what are the boundaries over here? A. All the boundaries are over are telling that the side is over here A. So basically what we will take the perimeter, that is 4A, all the sides. Okay, as I told you, perimeter, it means that all the outer boundaries. Okay, that is nothing but that is called as perimeter. So what will take here? Perimeter is equals to 4a. This is the formula that we have to keep in mind regarding the square. In square, first thing is that all the sides of the square are equal. Second thing is the area of the square and the perimeter of the square. These are the three formulas. Okay, in examination they can directly ask you what is the perimeter or what is the area of a square. So at that time you must be able to know the formulas over there. Okay, moving on to the next structure, that is the rectangle. Okay, in rectangle, let us draw the figure over here for rectangle. In case of rectangle, what we find is the opposite sides of the rectangle are equal. Basically, I am taking over here A, then I'll also take here A, B, B. It means that ये दोनों opposite sides, this both opposite sides are equal. Okay, this is what we have to keep in mind. The very first thing regarding the rectangle is opposite sides are equal. Now the students over here must be thinking that मैम इतना basic क्यों पढ़ा रहे हैं? Okay, schooling के जैसा लग रहा है. This is for the students जिनका मैथ्स बहुत ही ज़्यादा वीक है, ठीक है, या था स्कूल टाइम में, और जिनको ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि बहुत दिनों के बाद या बहुत गैप के बाद मैथ्स पढ़ रहे, उनके लिए आई एम टीचिंग दिस. ओके, सो इफ़ यू आर फीलिंग दैट दिस काइंड ऑफ लेक्चर इज़ गेटिंग बोर्ड, देन प्लीज़ डू वॉच इट एट like 2x वाला स्पीड एंड ऑल. ओके, बट I'll take this things from the scratch only. Now the second thing that we have to keep in mind regarding the rectangle is now area. To find the area, we can directly do is, for example, if this is these are these two sides, okay, that is A and B of the rectangle. For example, this is length and breadth if we consider. Okay, this is B and this is A. So what we will take the area, basically area is nothing but it is length into breadth. So what is the length over here and what is the breadth? So the length is A into B, so area will be AB. So whenever we take the area, we'll directly write it as, I'll write it in small let. Okay, so area is equals to area of the rectangle is equals to AB. Now for the perimeter of the rectangle, once again the boundaries. Okay, now as we know there are two different kind of boundaries over here, that is the two opposite sides are equal, that is there are two A's and there are two B's. So how we will take the perimeter over here? We'll take it as 2A plus B, basically 2A's plus 2B, so 2 in common, A plus B is the formula for the perimeter. Okay, now in case of square and in case of rectangle, for the 2D structures, in case of rectangle and square, let us see that. For example, this is square and this is rectangle. The one thing that I have forgot to tell you over here is the diagonal. Okay, for the square. Okay, if we are considering this is a square where all the sides are A, okay, where all the sides are A, okay, and this is the diagonal. Now if we have to find the diagonal of the or the value of the diagonal, how we'll do here? As we know, we can take the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, Pythagoras theorem, what we can say is that x square is equals to a square plus a square by Pythagoras. So here I can write this, x square is equals to 2a square. Now for the students who have not understood this, I have taken this by the Pythagoras theorem. In case of Pythagoras theorem, what we do is, if this is x, we'll take this as x. To find this value of this x, what we will do is x square is equals to a square plus a square. This is the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, now basically here I have used the Pythagoras theorem, and here x square is equals to a square plus a square. I can write is that x square is equals to 2a square. To find the value of x, what I can do is directly under root of 2a. Okay, a square gets converted into a and 2 gets converted into under root of 2a. So the value of diagonal for the square, the value of diagonal, if they can ask you this question directly, that find the value of the diagonal. Okay, if side is equal to, for example, 4 centimeter, then what we will do is diagonal, as we know diagonal is equals to under root of 2a. So basically we know the side given was 4 centimeter or 4 meter, whatever the side is given, 4 centimeter if we take. So what we will do is under root of 2 into 4 centimeter. This is equals to the diagonal of the square. In this way we can find the answer. Okay, now moving on to the next structure, let us discuss for the rhombus now. Okay, I'll draw rhombus over here. Now in this particular diagram, all the sides are equal again, just like that of the square. ओके रोम्बस के और स्क्वायर के प्रॉपर्टीज जो है लिंकअप करना सीख लो यहीं से, ठीक है. दैट ऑल साइड्स ऑफ रोम्बस ओके आर इक्वल. This is the first thing. Now to find the area, we have to find the area, and the second thing that we have to find is perimeter. We can clearly find out that it is similar structure, that is a perimeter. It means what, we have to just calculate the boundaries over there, right? So here, just like that of the square, the perimeter will be 4a. Okay, just like that of the square, the perimeter will be 4a. But for area, now area of the rhombus and area of the square is not same. Why? To find the area of the rhombus, consider two diagonals. For example, this is diagonal d1 and this is another diagonal called d2. Okay, to find the area, what we have to do, what is the formula over here is half of d1 into d2. Okay, so this is the formula for the area of the rhombus, this is the formula for the perimeter of the rhombus. In case of the rhombus, what we find is all the sides are equal. In case of area is half of diagonal d1 into diagonal d2. Okay, perimeter is nothing but same that of the square, that is the 4a. Now what is the basic difference between the square and rhombus must be the question now that may arise in your mind. Okay, to find the basic difference between the square and the rhombus, now square and rhombus have similarities that we have seen, that is the area is different but the perimeter is same and all the sides are equal over there. In case of square, what we find is, this is the square, right? Whenever we give a kind of a tilt to the square, एक पुश दिया, एक टिल्ट दिया, बेसिकली वो क्या फॉर्म करेगा, इट विल फॉर्म ए रोम्बस. ओके, दिस विल फॉर्म ए रोम्बस. सो रोम्बस इज नथिंग बट अ स्क्वायर. इसके अंदर क्या है, बेसिक एक टिल्ट दिया है स्क्वायर को एंड इट इज फॉर्मिंग that is forming the rhombus shape. Now this kind of similarity is also found out in between the rectangle and the parallelogram. Before understanding that, let us discuss the parallelogram. Okay, let us discuss the parallelogram. Here I'll draw parallelogram. Okay, now look here. In case of parallelogram, what we find is that similar to that of the rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. Okay, here the opposite sides are equal. I'm sorry. Okay, so in case of parallelogram, as I told you, as like that of the rectangle, opposite sides are equal. Okay, opposite sides are equal. Now if I take over here a, I'll also take over here a, b, b. Okay, to find, now we must know here again two formulas just like the previous one, as we have discussed the area and the perimeter. Similar to that of the rectangle, opposite sides are equal and the formula for the perimeter is also same. Okay, now what will be the formula for the perimeter? The boundaries, as I told you, there are two a's and two b's over here, so the formula will be 2 into a plus b, similar to that of the formula for the rectangle. Now to find the area, once I'll give you the formula, that is area is equals to base into height for the rectangle. Now you must be in the confusion like height kidhar se liya. So this is the height that they have taken over here. Okay, so this is 90 degree, so this is the height that they take in case of the parallelogram. So in parallelogram, the structures features are actually similar to that of the rectangle. Here opposite sides are equal, area is equals to base into height and perimeter is equals to twice of a plus b. Okay, now what is the difference between the rectangle and that of the parallelogram, and what is the difference between the square and the rhombus? Now to understand this, let us draw once again. This was square, this was rectangle. Okay, this was again a rhombus and this was the parallelogram. Okay, this was the parallelogram. Now here what we can find is that in case of square, all the sides were equal. Okay, all the sides were equal. Okay, in case of rectangle, what we had find that opposite sides were equal. In case of rhombus, again what did we find, all the sides are equal. In case of parallelogram, all the opposite sides are the equal. Okay, this was the thing that we have find. Now what was the basic difference between the square and the rhombus? As I told you, whenever we give a tilt or a push or a small tilt or a small push to a square, it is forming rhombus, and whenever we are giving a small push or small tilt to the rectangle, it is forming rhombus, right? Sorry, parallelogram. So only the difference between the square and the rectangle, okay, sorry, the difference between the square and the rhombus is nothing but the difference of angle. So if the examiner asks you in the question that what is the difference in between the square and the rhombus, in the form of statement if they ask, then we must able to know that there is a difference of angle. There is a difference of angle between the square and the rhombus. Similarly, in case of the rectangle and in case of the parallelogram, what we find, there is just the difference of angle. There is just a difference of angle. Okay, there is just a difference in the angle between the rectangle and that of the parallelogram. Similarly, square and the rhombus. Now the second thing that we have to keep in mind is, now this was the first thing, as I told you, the difference between the square, rhombus, rectangle, parallelogram. Okay, now as we know, as I told you once again, the second thing that we have to keep in mind is, as when this is square, I'll write it once again, this is rectangle, this is rhombus and the parallelogram. Now if the question asked is a square a parallelogram, is a rectangle a parallelogram, is a rhombus a parallelogram, now this may give rise to a question in your mind. Okay, so we must able to know that either it may be a square or a rectangle or rhombus, all of them, these all are parallelogram. Okay, this is the thing that we have to keep in mind. Either it may be a square, a rectangle, a rhombus. These are the examples of the parallelogram. Okay, secondly, the second thing that we have to keep in mind over here is that now square is following the properties of the rectangles. So basically, square over here, if we see that square follows the properties of the rectangle, so basically the square is the example of rectangle. Okay, but now this is the right statement. Okay, both the statements are right. Directly they can ask in the question, okay, that is the square, rectangle, rhombus all the examples of the parallelogram? The answer will be yes. At the same time, is the square example of the rectangle? The answer will be yes. Okay, nextly, the thing that we have to keep in mind is that if the question is asked vice versa, that is the rectangle an example of square? Now if this question is asked, is rectangle the example of the square, then answer will be no. Why? Because the rectangle is not following the properties of the square, so it is not the example of the square. Okay, so the things that we have learned in today's lecture was the very first thing, very basic things we have learned. Actually, in mensuration there are two types of structures, 2D and 3D. In 2D structure, triangle, circle and quadrilateral. In 2D we have seen the scalar, right angle triangle, equilateral and the isoscalars triangle. In quadrilateral we'll see the structures of square, rectangle, parallelogram and trapezium, as I told you. In 3D we'll see the structures in detail about the cube, cuboid and cylinder. In square we have seen what are the features of this square, that is the area as well as the perimeter for a formula. All sides are equal. In case of the diagonal of the square, we have see how to calculate the diagonal. We'll see in tomorrow's lecture how to calculate the diagonal of the rectangle also. Okay, okay. Now this was all about how to find the diagonal of the square. Nextly we have seen a rhombus. Okay, similarly we have seen the parallelogram. Now what was the basic difference between the square and rhombus? As I told you, whenever we give a small tilt to the square, we find the rhombus over there. Basic difference is nothing but just of the angle. There is a difference of angle in between them. So this was the thing that we have learnt in detail. At the same time, that things that we have to keep in mind regarding the square, rectangle, rhombus and parallelogram, that all these three structures can be the example of parallelogram, and the square is example of rectangle, but rectangle is not not the example of the square, because it does not follow the property of the square. This was all about today's lecture. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button. At the same time, do subscribe the channel, and at the same time, if you have any kind of doubt regarding the lecture or any doubts regarding the subscription as well as enrolling the course, you can directly comment in the comment section and ask your doubt. I'll resolve it. At the same time, do watch the videos, do watch the series for the paper 1. If you're preparing for the CTET paper 1, I have already uploaded all the lectures regarding the syllabus in the playlist. Okay, so you just go and watch over there. Similarly, once again, I would like to tell you that the central teacher eligibility test for that complete course has been launched for paper 1, for paper 2, and for paper 1 and paper 2, that is compiled course for paper 1 and paper 2. If you want course for the paper 1, the fees is of 2000 rupees. For paper 2, again the fees is of 2000 rupees. And if you want the course for both paper 1 and paper 2, the fees is of just 2000 rupees. Here the features that will be provided for all the 3 courses is full syllabus theory lectures, practice multiple MCQs, mock test, full syllabus notes in the form of PDF with the respective fees. Over here you have to go and download the global online app for enrolling the course, or contact us on this given WhatsApp number. So basically in this way you can go and enroll the course. Okay, and if you have any kind of doubt regarding anything in your mind, so you can just completely comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching today's video. Stay tuned for more such videos. We will discuss the mensuration part 2 in tomorrow's lecture, and at the